been playing more with the settings as always, and I gotta say that I think at this point for my complete setup, this is the best I've been able to do. This is using the Nvidia DLSS, and you can see my top settings are all ultra with the exception of grass and bushes, which are medium. The terrain level of detail I have down low, and I really don't mind that because with everything on ultra and the resolution, the render resolution I'm using, it doesn't really seem to detract by having the terrain level of detail down low. So you can see that here we're averaging very good frame rates, at least I consider them to be very good. And I'm able to read almost all the numbers on these dials. Maybe not the tiniest numbers, but most of them I can read. And the outside to me looks awesome. It looks very good. It's not super clear, but for me, I expect that because I normally wear glasses. I don't wear them under the VR headset. They don't fit. And I haven't bothered to invest in lenses because I don't know if they can make bifocal lenses for the Oculus and if I want to invest in them. And I would need that. Otherwise, if I put on my regular distance glasses, I wouldn't be able to see anything up close. So for me, I tune to my eyes without glasses, and everything looks good. I think the videos always look pretty good, so it shows. But these numbers, I mean, I can read all these digits here. I can read the large digits on the top and on the bottom gauges. I can't read the text way over there, but all I have to do is lean forward about 5 or 6 inches, and I don't find that to be inconvenient. I don't find it to be unrealistic. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't remove any of the realism. Just because I have to lean forward 5 or 6 inches to read a few gauges, I really have no issues with that at all. If I'm able to continue to get over 40 frames per second and have really nice detail, good looking objects. The clouds I think are on high right now, which to me high and ultra, there's not much of a difference in the Quest. Maybe on a flat monitor, but on the Quest there really isn't. So TAA exact settings and the frame rates are well below 30. And if I was to get closer to the ground, they would be not even close to 20. We'd be looking at like 15 if I was within a couple hundred feet of the ground. With TAA picked as the option and all the settings the same, I would be very lucky at this point to get above 20 if I was a little bit closer to the ground. So I don't know why we had to wait so long for DLSS. I'm so anxious for Nvidia to update their driver when it's released with support for DLSS in this application. They must be working on new drivers. They released a developer's driver, not a graphics driver, but not a gamer's driver, but a developer's driver. And that was just released recently, so maybe they're working on the gaming version as well. And hopefully that'll be coming out sometime when this does or before it. So yeah, so I can leave these settings on all the same exact options they're on right now. I switch to TAA, boom, it goes down. At higher levels it drops to well below 30. At lower levels, closer to the ground, meaning flight levels, at lower flight levels, it drops down below 20. With the DLSS, I could get down to the ground and in a lot of cases still be very close to 40. I'm not using the fixed foveated rendering in the OpenXR, but I am using the OpenXR toolkit scaling. I'm not using the Nvidia scaling, is not turned on in my Nvidia control panel. GeForce Experience, not installed, so I'm not using the scaling from the GeForce. Let me just take a walk back. We're pretty level, so I'm just taking a walk back here real quick. I do love being able to actually walk physically in my house and be going into the back, but I just want to take a look. I like looking at my wings and my struts before I get ready to land. Make sure everything's looking good and secure. Yeah, it looks good on the left. Take a quick look over here at the right. Struts, yeah, wing, yeah, everything's looking good. Alright, so we should be good. Get back up here. Tiny door. Step down. Try not to hit the elevator trim, which is on the side of the pilot seat. And get back into the chair here. All right. Sorry. It's kind of my thing. I like to check my struts before I land in the water. And I'm going to test my gear because there is a airport right next to us. Oh, by the way, this is we're near the Rockies. This is Our Lady of the Rockies, I think it's called. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. There was a POI. It's actually the only POI that comes up if you put in Rockies. I know there's an airport right next to me, so if for some reason I can't get down in the water, because these are actually quarries. I was going to try and land in this quarry right here that we're passing over now. Man, those walls are steep, and I'm just not sure if I'd be able to get this thing back out if I could get down. So I'm going to the larger quarry up ahead. Yeah, look at that. It's kind of steep. It might be a bit of an obstacle to clear. So I'm going to go to this quarry over here instead. So DLSS, still the option to go with. This is again Sim Update 10 Beta. 1.27.11.0 is the release version. It was released, I think it was it's in the notes. It wasn't that long. It was a couple weeks ago. It was released to everybody that's beta testing. And with the one exception of not being able to move the world in the map, when I go to select a flight, I cannot move the world with my mouse. I can move it with the Oculus controller, but I don't use those. But if I had to, I could pick it up and I can actually pan the world, the globe, and find a location. But with the mouse, I cannot. So far, that is the only bug I have run into at all in probably 40 hours of testing now, with more than a dozen different planes, a dozen different locations. Oh, I am descending way too fast here. It's going to be rough. Hold on. Oh, sorry. I was coming down a little fast, so I dipped my left wing a little just to kind of run the float on the water just for a brief second, not long, but just for a brief second, just to kind of get us down and slower. So keeping the nose pointed down so that we don't go bump, 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 bump as we float across the water. Quarries are pretty nice. Nice place to land, nice and quiet. No wind down here. So we're going to shut down the engines, open up the window, and just enjoy this beautiful Friday morning flight. I don't know if you guys do it, but I like to, whenever I can, wake up and have a cup of coffee and start my morning with a flight in the morning. Yeah, all right. Yeah, very nice, very nice. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching. Just doing some more testing with the DLSS beta 127.11.0. Really no bugs, no issues. I haven't had crashes. I use DX11, not DX12. I only fly VR. I use SteamVR with the virtual desktop and a Quest 2 headset. I do not use any of the Oculus software. I do not use any of the Oculus tools. I do not use the Oculus links. It's all SteamVR, virtual desktop. And for me, it is the absolute best option. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon, I'm sure. See you in the skies.